I was erased, Black murmured, his voice echoing strangely, as if space itself were listening. Xeno-sama eliminated everything. How can I still feel the pulse of this body? This place, Black looked at his own hands. Is it the punishment for a god who failed, or a new sanctuary to begin the purification again? This place, Black looked at his own hands. Is it the punishment for a god who failed, or a new sanctuary to begin the purification again? It's not just the sacrifice. The voice floated through the air, soft and sharp. Black spun on his heels, his hand instinctively clenched into a fist, ready to conjure his violet key blade. However, what he saw made him stop. The impossible reunion. There, under the shadow of the silver-petaled tree, appeared a wooden bench that hadn't been there seconds before. On it, rocking calmly, was Bulma. But not the woman he had known in Goku's past. It was future Bulma, with her worn coat, red scarf, and gaze hardened by decades of suffering. She didn't seem scared. She just stared at him, with a corner smile that bordered on pity. "What is it?" she asked, tilting her head. "Are you seeing the ghost of the one you killed, Zamasu? Or is the body you stole beginning to reject your filthy soul?" The clash of wills. Goku Black felt a tremor of fury mixed with profound confusion. He had killed her with his own hands. He remembered the glint of terror in her eyes before she disappeared into the flames of West City. Black's reaction: insolent mortal. He growled, stepping forward. "How dare you manifest in this sacred place? This is the realm where the gods rest after purification." Bulma's response: she let out a dry, joyless laugh. "Sacred? Look around. This isn't heaven, and it certainly isn't your realm. It's the residue of what's left of you after the king of all erased your existence. You're not a god here. You're just a mistake that refuses to disappear." Black tried to raise his key. He wanted to silence that voice, erase that image that reminded him of his only flaw, the inability to accept that mortals, even in their weakness, could create bonds that not even time could destroy. But, to his surprise, his aura didn't respond. The pink glow of Super Saiyan Rose didn't appear. He was just a man in a dark robe, standing before a woman he had already destroyed. "Why are you here?" Black asked, his voice now lower, almost hesitant. "Shut up, human," he yelled, delivering a deadly horizontal blow to Bulma's neck. The energy blade ripped through the air with a sinister whine, but upon hitting its target, there was no resistance. The energy passed through Bulma's body, as if she were made of smoke or light. Black stumbled forward, the weight of his own attack throwing him off balance for a moment. The creator's lesson. Bulma didn't move. She simply reappeared seated on the swing, moving from side to side with a calmness that irritated Black more than any punch from Goku. "Don't you understand yet?" she said, her voice serene. "In this place, you are not the executioner. You are the sacrifice." Black deactivated the blade, his face transfigured in confusion and anger. "I remember how you looked at us," Bulma continued. "You blamed my son, Trunks, for time travel. He called it a sin, a crime against the gods. But I was the one who created that machine. I saved Goku's life back then. And you know what? That was an act of love. Something far superior to your petty hatred for humans." The closing of the circle. She stopped the swing with her feet, staring intently into Black's eyes that belonged to the hero she loved so much as a friend, but which now harbored a corrupted soul. "What began between me and Goku ended here. The cycle closed with your death. My original destiny was to die at the hands of the androids, and Goku's destiny was to die from that heart disease. We should both have been dead a long time ago." Black took a step back, feeling a strange emptiness in his chest. "But you were the sacrifice, Black," she smiled, a sad and victorious smile. "You died in place of the heroes. For the balance to return, the universe needed you to steal this body, and be erased with it. You didn't purify the world, you merely served as a scapegoat for fate." Black's hands began to tremble. The idea that his grand justice was merely a tool of fate to save the mortals he hated was the worst punishment. "No," Black whispered. "I am justice. I am the world. You are just a shadow." Zamasu. Bulma pointed to his chest. "And shadows vanish when the light of truth shines. You were never a god, Zamasu," she said, with a cruel sweetness. "You were just the slaughter. The animal that needed to be sacrificed so that balance could be restored." Goku Black felt a tightness in his chest, a pain that wasn't physical. "How can you smile?" he shouted, his voice faltering. "You're dead. Your timeline was erased by Xeno-sama. Nothing remains, not even dust, not even souls." Bulma's harvest. Bulma tilted her head, observing the silvery flowers in the garden. "Haven't you ever heard the saying? You reap what you sow. I planted hope when I sent Trunks to the past. Now I'm reaping the rewards." She stood up from the swing and began walking around Black, as if she were examining a broken museum piece. "I admit, we didn't stand a chance against you, she confessed fearlessly. You were too strong, an unstoppable monster. But that doesn't matter anymore. Anyway, it was already written, Zamasu. Destiny has a strange way of fixing itself. The timelines. Black tried to concentrate, but his mind seemed clouded. He, who considered himself the master of time, now felt like an ignorant apprentice. Listen carefully, Bulma continued. The timeline of that other Bulma, where Goku and Vegeta live, has now become the original. Ours, which was once the main one, has become nothing. Ashes. Just like that timeline where Cell killed me and stole Trunks' time machine, all of them were sacrificed. Black looked at the time ring on his finger. It was cracking. And my son, Bulma's eyes shone with a tear of pride. Trunks is now in a universe where he can finally rest. That place where he went has become the safe alternate universe. He escaped you. He defeated you by living, while you rot here, in this memory. Goku Black fell to his knees. The white garden began to tremble. The reality he had built upon his own superiority was crumbling before the logic of a mere mortal. I am a god, he whispered, but the phrase sounded hollow. Finally she whispered, closing her eyes. She was happy. For her, turning to dust wasn't a defeat, it was the final rest of a warrior, who gave everything so that the future would have a chance, even if it wasn't her own. She disappeared with the certainty that Trunks was safe. The despair of the false god. Unlike Bulma, Black fought. He clutched his chest, watching his gray robe turn to ashes that floated into nothingness. No, this can't end like this, he shouted, his voice faltering as his throat also turned to dust. I am order. I am perfection. He looked at Bulma one last time. She was already almost a mirage, a trail of golden light merging into the infinite white. The contrast was absolute. The mortal accepted her and with dignity, while the god crumbled in pure terror. The final void. Goku's body, the vessel Zamasu stole to spread chaos, was disintegrating atom by atom. The time ring, the last symbol of his arrogance, shattered into 1,000 pieces before disappearing completely. Black reached out into the nothingness, trying to grasp something to hold him, but there was nothing but the silence of Zeno-sama. I am. The sentence was never finished. The final glow consumed what remained. The garden, the bench, Bulma, and Black. White became an absolute nothingness. The justice of an insane man was erased by the justice of the universe itself.